Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom, the nation's largest discount appliance dealer. Visit our website for deals and store locations near you.
We're going to talk about the top 5 front load washers. And this is based on year-to-date sales data, and I think you're going to like it, but I want to give you some basics, things that we're looking for. So what do you need to look for in your front load washer? Well, the first thing I'd be looking at is the size. So is it large enough for you to fit whatever comforter you have in your bed? That is because the comforter is usually the largest thing we have to wash. I'll tell you that anything about 4 cubic foot or higher is going to do a California king size comforter. And I say that with confidence because I do it myself. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of features that I like, but the biggest ones I look for when I'm standing in front of a washer or a dryer is I'm going to look for anything that says sanitize on up here, or I'm going to look for anything that says allergen, or anything that says steam. Those things to me are the key features that we're looking for. Just the basics you don't really want to go without. So let me explain that. If it's got a sanitary cycle, what that means is it's got a built-in water heater inside of the dish. Side of the washer. So what does that do for you? Well, at the right time, it's going to jack that temperature up over 150 degrees, and it's going to kill 99.9% of all bacteria, which is really important nowadays. So does this kill germs? Yes, it does if it's got a sanitary cycle. Allergen cycle. Here in Colorado, we have a lot of people that have trouble with their allergies. Well, an allergy cycle is very similar to a sanitizing cycle, except what that does is it keeps it at that temperature just long enough where now it will kill allergies. Again, in the 99th percentile of allergies, they'll be gone if your washer has an allergy cycle. Steam in a washer, what does that do? Well, it's different than the other two things. So why would you need steam in something that already gets wet? What it does is before it starts washing, it puts steam mist through the clothes. That expands the fabric and allows it to pop stains off. So what does that do for you? Well, it means you probably don't have to use stain removers anymore. So now I don't want to overpromise. If the stain remover wouldn't have gotten out, neither will the steam. But it sure saves a lot. In my house, I am married to a nurse, a very beautiful woman, and she is a nurse. And we definitely need the sanitary cycle, the allergy cycle, and the steam cycle. So it has real world application. So that's what I'm looking for. The other reason to get a front loader is they spin really fast, much faster than a traditional washer or dryer. So I'm talking, normally we'd see something 6, 7, 8, 900 revolutions per minute. Well, in a front load, they get up to 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 revolutions per minute. That means that whatever you get into the washer, it's going to be virtually dry before you get it into the dryer. And that means that you won't have to spend as much time drying. So that saves you a lot of time in doing your laundry. We love front load. They use about 13 gallons of water instead of, the traditional washer was 40 gallons of water. So much advantages. What are the top 5? Well, we're standing at one of them. I'm not going to do this in order. I'm going to do it where it makes a little more sense instead of walking you through the line. So LG seems to own the list. There's 3 out of the top 5 in there. This is the WM3600. So what do I like about it? It's got a steam setting. It's got the allergy setting. It's got the sanitary setting. It even does a great job washing in cold water. It just got everything. It's 4.5 cubic foot, so it handles large loads with ease. It's also got something that I think is terrific with LG. This is kind of unusual. It's called AI fabric sensor and smart pairing. So what does that do? Well, the washer itself will recognize the texture that you have on the clothes. It can set itself to the right settings for your cycles. And it will do everything that you need to do instead of you having to become an expert at that. Just start it, it'll pick that up, and then it will do a great job in washing the clothes. So the other thing about that, the smart pairing, what that does is this can connect to this, the dryer, and by the setting that it determined it needed, it can automatically preset the dryer so it comes up with the right setting as well. So same thing, you don't have to be an expert at this, you don't have to be an expert at that. So let's go to our next one. It's another LG. Okay, so what we have here is the next one. This is the WM4000 series. So this has everything that the last one has, but it's got something that's really important that I really like. It's called Turbo Wash. So what Turbo Wash does for you, it has super jets all the way around this thing that push in so much water and turn everything on at once instead of doing things one at a time in terms of its sequencing in the washer, that you can do a full-size load in under 30 minutes. Now, how good is that? I mean, that's really cool. Mostly when you see a quick setting on a washer, you're talking about, you know, maybe a day's worth of clothes, like one set of clothes, a small load. But this could do a full load in 30 minutes or less. So it's pretty cool. What we have here is the WM4200. So this has everything that the last one has. It has all the nice cycles, turbo wash, steam wash, allergen, sanitary, cold wash. You know, it's got lots more than that. But what makes it special, you know, the turbo wash again, but this time instead of 4.5 cubic foot, you get 5 cubic foot. That's like major family size. That's easily probably the nicest size you'll ever see. You know, and the nice thing about it, when you get it bigger, well, it doesn't scrunch the clothes up as much, which means it's easier for the dryer to get it out and not be wrinkled. If you really jam up front load washer, you can wash just fine. It'll do a great job on the washer. But because it's spun so tight, it makes it a little harder for the dryer to actually get stuff out of there wrinkle free. So the price of this, again, this is Memorial Day pricing. Today it's $12.99. On Memorial Day, $8.49. And you can come in early and we'll look at our 30-day price guarantee and how we can get you into those prices right away. So let's go to a different brand. I'm going to show you Samsung. This is also in the top 5. Today this sells for $8.99. So this is very similar to the white LG that I showed you, the very first one I showed you. It has a sanitary cycle, it has steam, it has a lot of nice features on there. You know, Samsung's got one of the best vibration controls that I know of, and it's not really electronic. I think it uses ball bearings all the way around the drum that I've seen work amazingly. But it's got the key features we want. It's got steam, and it's got the sanitary cycle, so it will kill bacteria. It's also very large on the inside, 4.5 cubic foot. You know, these are great drums. All of these have the lifted bubbles in them, whether we're talking LG or Samsung. That means it's not going to snag your clothes like the old washers used to do. So this price right now is at $8.99. So what's it going to be for Memorial Day? It's going to be $6.99. So same price as the first LG. LG's got a little bit more features. Samsung is so popular, and I've had Samsung for years, so I can tell you that they are a good product. Okay, let's go to the final 5. Now this is not in order, so don't look for it to be a ranking system. We're going to go to the last one, has more features than all the rest, and then I'll give you my pick for the number 1 out of everything we just saw. Okay. This one is super exciting. Like I said, this has got more features than all the rest. So let me just try to go through these as quickly as I can. First of all, it's a steam washer. Second of all, it's got ultra fresh vent systems. What that means is, you know, washers tend to hold moisture, and that's why some people leave the door open. Well, this one, you don't need to do that. This one vents the moisture out of the vent up front. And what that does is it keeps it from creating an odor. So you'll like this. It even has a this is antimicrobial ring. Now, all of them have this, but this has this kind of material throughout the washer. So what that means is it's not going to have anything growing on it. So you'll appreciate that. So they've really worked hard at trying to keep this clean and smelling good. Then if we look, this is one of the nicest features that are kind of new in the market. This is called Smart Dispense. Look at that, it says fill up to 50 ounces of detergent. So instead of you having to lift that heavy bottle every time, you can just turn this on and it'll just use the soap that it already has in the dispenser. That saves you a lot of time, so that's kind of nice. It also has a feature that's unusual. It's called one-step wash and dry. So if you have a small load, you could put it in there, turn it on, and it will actually wash it, and then it will dry it because it's allowing the air to circulate through it. It will kind of air dry what you have. So that's nice if you're in a hurry and you want to just get one load done instead of doing everything. Okay, it also has a great balancing system. It's got something very unusual. It's got a reversible door. I've only ever seen this in Electrolux that I can recall. So this washer will either open the way it is now, or you can switch the hinge around to this side and open it the other way. So if you're in an older home, you know, and you have your plugs on different than most washers and dryers, where the washer's on the left and you need to put it on the right, well, you can reverse the door and still open everything up nice and easy. So that's a great feature. It also has a sanitary cycle. It also has the steam cycle. It also has the allergen cycle. It's got all the great stuff that I like to see. And this is really, I know it's more expensive than all the rest. I can tell you it's worth it. It is a good piece that's done very well. So, you know, it's a great washer and it's done really well for GE. In fact, the entire GE line has done well. But nobody has done better than LG in terms of the ranking in Consumer Reports and the amount of sales they're generating. So these are the most favored units of the entire year so far, and it really kind of picks up where it left off last year. All of these units I've showed you are stackable. You can stack them on top of each other. All of them will take a pedestal underneath. On the LGs, you can even get a pedestal. It's called a sidekick. It's really a washer underneath acting as a pedestal. There's this little small washer. People love those. You know, there's lots you can do with this. They all have Wi-Fi. I don't think any of these didn't have Wi-Fi. I'm not sure about the Samsung over there, but I know the LGs do. I know the GE does. So Wi-Fi generally means you can sit in your couch, see how much time you got left on the load. You can turn it on from the road, that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. For my best pick of all of them, when you turn the page, yep, this one right here. This is the one we talked about earlier. This is the one where we picked up the extra turbo wash. This, in my mind, is probably the best buy out of all of them. I want to tell you, I checked the Consumer Reports before I got in here. This was listed as the #1 unit. It's tied with about 4 others, but this is a #1, all the way at the top of the list. I know it's done extremely well for us. If I take a look at its earlier version, model number from last year and this year, this is absolutely the best buy, the best selling unit in the store. So I can tell you, this WM 4200, whether you get it in this HBA, which is this color, or you get it in the white, it is #1 in my opinion. It is the one that the customers like the most.